Okay, so apparently our connection is excellent. That's great. I think I need to close that. I have no idea whether we're actually active or not. How on earth do I tell? So if I am actually transmitting into the universe, hello, good morning, and welcome to what I was going to be doing anyway, but now we've decided to share it. Not quite sure who we is. We would be me, I guess. Oh, look, I'm live. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're going to try to fix 2-week millionaire. I was doing this yesterday and it all went horribly wrong. It all went completely horribly wrong. I managed to delete the base part and now I'm kind of got to rebuild it from scratch. Well, not exactly scratch. Alright, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by soloing all the instruments. So what I've been doing for the past while is getting all the parts in, and we've had a few problems with the bass track, the drums. As you can see, I've got drum rebuild mark there, and also the song kind of grew a lot, so got to the point where it stretched the resources of this device. So let's find out whether... Alright, so this is what I would normally do, and I've kind of got to do this to fix what I broke yesterday. Alright, here we go. So let's start by soloing the drums. I don't even know if this is going to transmit live, but we'll find out, I guess. Okay, so that's the drums. So now what we're going to do is, to balance this, we're going to start with the drums and the main vocals. So we'll solo those. As you can see, I have a lot of stacked stuff here. So what we basically have is we have our guitar bus, which is mandolin, guitar, and a new acoustic guitar, and a chord reinforcement, and over here are the theme that Paul is playing. Now the drums come from a drum loop which Teo did not want to replace, strangely enough. It was only originally in there as a building thing, but he wanted to add percussion around it. So we then have vocals from me, backing vocals, which included Pat Powell and quite a bit of it. Then we have another backing vocal here, which is all the African stuff. Then we have percussion, and then we have all these toms and cymbals and other things that Teo has put in. So let's try. First thing we want to do is we want to balance the main vocals and the drums, because those are probably going to be, from a mixing perspective, they're meant to be roughly the loudest thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the process I would normally go through, and it's really not that exciting. That's why Paul calls it Adventures in Stereo Recording, because you go backwards and forwards over the same thing. So if I'm going to have to do it, today I'm streaming it. Here we go.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? And it's...
Okay, so the drums are already too hot. Now, you can't see this because this thing won't actually show me the entire thing, or the entire screen. I've got a mixer to the left that allows me to turn all these channels up and down. So first thing I'm going to do is, my drums are set at 0 dB. I've got 2 tracks of drums there. So I'm going to, the second set of drums is, let's see what effects we've got on it. So the effects we have on it, some reverb. So let's increase the reverb on the second track, see what we get now. Alright, it's still peaking. I'm getting a plus 1.6 dB, which means it's too hot, so I'm going to take the drums down. Alright, that's still way too hot. Ah, that's why. Because my envelope is too high. Let's bring that down. So there are two different places that you can adjust the relative loudness, and also by panning or changing the relative reverb, which is the echoey sound of where it is, you can make the instrument or the item sound closer to you, further away, or louder or softer. So there's a few different ways of affecting loudness. Let's try this. No, I'm still peaking, so let's bring that all back to 0 dB. You see, I think what happened last night was I got to a point where I just messed up. I deleted the bass track, and oh boy. So I decided to leave it overnight. All right, let's see how we go here. Let's see if we can get this to not peak. Straight in, it's peaking. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to kill that secondary track. We don't need it. Let's check my sub bus, because I am getting way too much signal there. So my sub master ought to be at -314. So my sub master is wrong. I think if I stream this again, I'm probably going to have to stream a Windows capture so that you can actually see. Okay, it's a 314 there. Okay. Bugger, it's still too hot. All right. Well, we're going to run with that to start with. I'm just going to check what effect is on it, because maybe there is an auto leveler or something that is boosting the signal, because the drum's coming in too hot. It's set at 0 dB. It ought to be. Okay, I don't think you can see this additional screen. It's got a console, live and sampled, and it's at the back of a large hall. We'll increase the reverb. Okay, that sucked. Let's undo that. Aha, my master bus was too high. You see? This is why we go to studios with engineers who know what they're doing as opposed to me. Oh dear, all right. Well, let me duplicate that again and see if I actually have got rid of the problem now. Okay, so now I'm not peaking on my visual meter, and it's not too loud. I wonder if I can show the floating mixer here. Ooh, yeah, that'll help. Floating mixer. Where is it? Floating mixer. It's got to be here somewhere. Ah, floating mixer master. Good, you can see my levels now, hopefully. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'll just move this over here. Hopefully that window is visible, which I can probably only show if I go, or find out if I go to YouTube. All right, so let's just check this, the drums versus the vocals now, and we'll move a bit closer.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? And it's the best time that she's ever had.
Okay, cool. So my vocals, I'm a subtractive mixer, which means that I try to set my levels at a maximum of 0 dB. And 0 dB is the measurement of sound. Sound and loudness are two different things, but technical discussions are even more boring than this.
What do you do when your friend...
Okay, so this is what I did last night when I stuffed up. I'm absolutely going to make sure that the bass track doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to lock this sucker. After last night, lock track controls. Bass, not getting touched. All right, so there's my main vocals. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to start introducing the elements of the percussion. Now, if I'm correct, these are the toms and the overheads. Now, what I needed to do was... No, I think actually that looks like most of these settings got saved. All right, let's put it together.
What do you do when your friends gone?
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take the vocals out for a minute. And let's just work on the percussion. So, goodbye vocals, and let's see if we can get a nice percussion bed together. Okay, I like that, but I think I like that louder. So let's go and check what my master volume on that is. I've got these arranged into sort of little buckets inside buckets. So the bucket in which the toms are in is presently at 0 dB, but the contents of the bucket are lower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the stuff inside that bucket up a little. Okay, also I don't really like that. What the heck is on that drum? Some sort of verb or something. I don't like it. What's on the second one? Yeah, it's got a little bit of verb on it, but not very much. All right, we'll come back to that later. So I'm feeling very Bob Ross-esque at the moment. Only happy mistakes. Trust me, there are not always just happy mistakes, Bob. All right, here we go. Let's add the next percussion. Now what I've done is I've panned these percussion elements left and right. Okay, I think that cymbal is up a little bit too high. That'll be the cymbal. Nope, that's not the channel with a cymbal. This must be the channel with a cymbal. Okay, so we want to bring that one down just a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll increase the reverb on it by adding... I'm using a combination of Plugin Alliance and iZotope stuff at the moment. Okay, we've got a preset there. Let's give that space. Large bright hall. Oh, back of a large hall. Let's have a listen to that with some reverb on it. Now it's a little soft. Reverb's a bit big. So let's go back in and change it from that to a large bright hall. Okay, that's better. But I think we're going to need to bring that up a little bit. Oh, let's have a listen. A little bit wimpy. Oh, let's try this. Yeah, okay. That's about right. So now we'll take the solo off that, solo into the big bucket, and let's move down to the second set of toms and additional percussion and see what we have. Let's solo this all together. Okay, I want those toms up as well. And that ought to be set to... That's about 25% panned right. So let's bring the toms up. Okay, let's see what we get. Something's bugging me about these drums. There's something in the reverb. It's making me crazy. What is it? Oh, let's take the reverb off. Got 2 channels here. Let's take both off. No, there's some little crispy... It's not the verb, which means it's in my EQing. So I'm going to change the EQing on the drum bus. Okay, let's try that, see what we get. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. That's basic drum bus on that one, and on this one the EQ is live and sampled, alright. Okay, let's see what we get here. And it's got this high frequency stuff on it, which I don't really like. Just at the top of it, it's like geek, geek, geek. Okay. Live and sampled glue. See, I'm choosing from all these different options they've got in the programs because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pushing buttons. Sampled percussion bus. All right, let's try this one. That looks a bit better. If I can work out after I do this test of doing the thing today, I'll try to work out how I can actually display all of the little pop-up menus that I am dealing with. Sample percussion bus. Okay, there we go. Let's see what we get. Still something in the high frequencies. Let's try EQing those down. Okay, let's try that. Okay, that's a bit better. That actually got rid. Yeah, there was something jarring about the top frequencies there because we're about to put in a whole bunch of other percussion and it will demand the same space. All right, here we go. Let's put it together now and see what we get. Shrink everything down. So we've got the 2 toms and we've got so I need to adjust the overheads on this and turn those up a bit and take this same, I've got to take, that's Paul on the phone. Paul, I'm busy mate, I am streaming. Alright, I've got to take the same effects and I'll put those onto the overheads here. See if we can get those cymbals just to be a little bit more shimmery. There, it's centered. Let's push that to the right. Is the other one panned? The other one is panned. Alright, so the other one is on the left hand side and this one I've had in the center. And I think, is there a master verb on that? There is. Nice drums and it's up quite high. Let's increase the size of the space a little. Okay, cool. Now, this has been one of the trickier elements here is from our good mate Mac G in Poland, who is the most African Pole you've ever met. He has done some crazy stuff, and there's a lot of it. We've got triangle. I've put a triangle verb track, which means that I've got the same track, but I've got the reverb, which is a sort of echo noise, on that one. And that means that I can turn the reverb up or down without affecting what I'm doing to the main track. These are all these little sort of things that you do to thicken the sound. Then I've got congas. I've got overhead center, overhead. Ooh, I'm not sure if I wanted to do that. Oh, yeah. Then I've got overhead left and overhead right. So there are three microphone sources for these congas, which can get a bit kind of overpowering. Then we've got shaker and tambourine. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 instruments, and each of them do their own thing. So let's just start adding them one bit at a time. So we'll turn the main bus off, or that little bucket. See, each of these things, like this is the percussion bucket. See, I can go, ooh, look, this is Reaper, by the way. Reaper's a great program, especially for the very low software costs. All right, so let's have a listen to the triangle. If you like your cowbell, you're going to love your triangle. Here we go. Let's see, what does this sound like? So what we'll do is we'll just get rid of everything else and listen to it. All right. Yeah, this is my jam. Okay, cool. So now let's try adding in some conga. Okay. So now let's add the shaker in. Shaker sounds a little low to me, so let's bring the shaker up. Where is the shaker? The shaker is here. It's presently minus 6 dB. Let's bring it up about a dB. Okay, and let's whack in the tambo. I'm not hearing anything. All right, let's try it. Let's just do the tambo by itself. Oh, that's really weak. Let's have a listen. What have we got here? So we've got that on. We've got some reverb. We've got tonal percussion. And the channel, the desk channel I'm using doesn't have anything in there. So I'll just change that. There we go. See if we get. Sounds a bit like the. It sounds a bit like the shaker. It's not really tonal. Okay. What can we do about that? Okay, we're going to have a listen to our... yeah, all right. You know what? I'm just going to move on from that one for the time being, because I think that might take some fiddling. And as I'm going to have to sit here with lots of dialogue boxes that you can't see, I will spare you that bit. But let's have a listen to it as a group. Okay, let's add main drums. I do not like what I have done on the drum EQ at all. Yuck, blah, yuck. Yuck, 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 blah. That was terrible. Yuck, blur. Let's try this again. You see, I'm basically just choosing from the options they've got here. Let's try that one. Okay. All right, let's see what we get now. Okay, that's all right for the time being. So now let's okay, and that's Dave in the background while we're streaming to show this as live, because there'll be all sorts of noises. All right, here we go. Let's add the toms in, and let's add the other toms in, and we'll put it all together, and we'll see what the percussion sounds like. Phil Collins, Eat Your Heart Out. I want those toms bigger. I wonder what I'm going to do about that. Do I add more reverb? Pre-EQ. No, okay, let's leave that for the moment. Let's move the panning a bit more to the left and right on those toms. And let's turn them up a little, I think. Right, so we're going to select the toms, and we're going to bring them up. And we're going to go to these toms too, and we're going to bring them up. All right. Did I select the right ones? I did. Okay, let's have a listen to this now. I kind of want them beefier. I kind of want like boom on the bottom end there. Let's have a look at the EQing on them. I've got a tom gate, which is cool, but let's add low end focus. Low end focus. See if we can get something boofy there. Low end focus. More kick. Let's see if we get what do we get out of this. Come on, make with the noise. Ultra punchy. Let's try that. Come on, start playing. Hello, dog. All right, I'm going to try adding that effect. So that effect's on channel 40. I'm going to add that to channel 42. Yep, thank you kindly. I'm going to add that effect to channel 46. And I'm going to add that effect to channel, crikey, where is it? It is channel 48. Okay, let's see what we get now. It's hard to stress. I think this, if the pop-ups aren't showing, it's going to show less of what I'm actually doing. But anyway, here we go. Let's see. Okay, cool. That's good. That actually is now giving me a bit more punch. The whole thing about the mixing is you don't want one thing overpowering everything else. So now what we've got is, I think we've got the basics in there. So now let's try adding the voice. Okay, here comes main vocals.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? And it's the best time that she's ever had.
Okay, so the drums are overpowering the vocals a little bit. So I've got two channels of drums there. I'm going to back one of those off. Okay, I just backed it off a ridiculous amount. So now let's just back it off a less ridiculous amount. Let's try dropping it down by a fairly strong 5 dB.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad?
See, it's subtle, but now the vocals are just above the drums, which is roughly where you want them. From a technical perspective, for anybody that's this geeky, my master bus is at 0, my sub-masters are -314, and then I've got whatever the sub buckets are in. And in this case, I've just dropped, I'm trying to keep my drums and my vocals at a sub master bus at 0 dB. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's cool. All right, now let's try, because basically the two things that are the sort of immediate about any song. All right, well, okay, the two things that I have been taught to look for immediately are the vocals and the drums. So let's start adding in our backing vocals. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the backing vocal master. That shaker is now too loud. All right, let's go and just adjust the shaker down. Where's the shaker? Shaker's under percussion and it's there. Okay, let's bring that down.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? Friend's gone mad, friend's gone mad. And it's the best time that she's ever had.
Okay, so now the backing vocals are too high relative to the main vocal. So let's go have a look at what the level is on those. The level there is minus 2 dB. So let's bring that down to minus 314 because I like the number for pi. Okay. Close enough for government work. All right, here we go. And we'll just move a little closer to the actual start point.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? Friend's gone mad, friend's gone mad. And it's the best.
Still too high. Okay, let's take it down again.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? Friend's gone mad, friend's gone mad. And it
Almost. So what I think I need to do is I actually need to go into the bucket itself, which is where I am here, and take down my backing vocals. So these backing vocals are made up of Pat Powell and myself doing them. Okay, let's have a listen, or let's actually have a look at what I'm doing here, and let's just bring those down just a little bit because I think I want my vocal, my version, to be just underneath Pat's. All right, here we go.
What do you do when your friend's gone mad? Friend's gone mad, friend's gone mad. And it's the best.
Okay, that's a bit more balanced. Let's not mess with that too much at the moment. Remember, every time we add another element, it changes the sonic complexity. Think about it like making a soup. You don't want to chuck everything in your fridge in the one soup, and you need to know how to do it in layers so that you're not going to need to strain your soup to remove the football socks you added, which I have metaphorically done on a couple of occasions. So let's see how it goes now with the other backing vocals, which are here in what is marked as the Woo sub-project. Okay, which isn't going to come into here. All right, let's roll through and see what it sounds like.
Mad, friends gone mad, friends gone mad. And it's the best time that she's ever had. Said she'd only dream she'd been away. Had to get.
Okay, congas are up too loud for my liking at the moment, so let's go to the congas, which we will find. See, if I select on this, because of the way that Reaper works, it helps me to highlight the things. Let's bring those down. So they're presently set at 0 dB. Let's bring them down to... Okay, let's see what we get now.
Mad, friends gone mad, friends gone mad. And it's the best time that she's ever had. Said she'd only dream she'd been away.
There's a flubble in the vocal there. I'd say that's me. Yeah, it doesn't sound like I'm particularly well pitched either. But you know what? Alright. Yeah, something's a little late there. So what we'll do is we'll trim that. And we'll move that forward a little. And hopefully... so let's have a look at where else it's going to be that the boing might occur. Boing. All right. Looks like there's some sort of crackly stuff in the end there too. I might just clean that up. Okay, that's what the problem is. The problem is I'm not matching Pat. So if I just yank that back to match Pat, that ought to work. No, that's still boink. Where's the boink coming from? Let's try bringing that back. No, it's still a boink. No. Okay, where's the boink? Oh, crap. You hear boing. It's when you hit being awake, it's going being awake. So there's a boink in there. Let's try getting rid of them and see which one it's in. No, it's not in Pat. Let's try this. Okay, it looks like the boink is in me. No, there's a boink. There's definitely a boink. And okay, so if it's not me, let's see if it's in the top of Pat here. Yep, it's in this one. So listen, you can hear the difference. There'll be a boink. Right. Being a boink, and then without it, being awake. Perfect. Okay, so where's the boink? Let's cut the boink out. Okay, you know what the easiest thing to do is? Let's just take this other thing, where we've got it, line it up, because he's done it right the second time.
Had to get up before it got too late. So she kept on.
There's a noise in there.
Got too late. So she kept on running and she kept on running. Rolled me over like a 2-week millionaire. What do you do when...
Okay, firstly, that sounds badass. Secondly, it's too loud. So we're going to take that down. It's already at -314 on that one. So I can see that I've already shaped that a little bit in the envelope, which is the second area of stuff. So what we'll do is we'll drop that down by another dB.
Had to get up before it got too late. So she kept on running and she kept on running. Rolled me over like a 2-week millionaire. What do you do when the world's gone mad?
Okay, so now what we have is we have the backing vocals and the Woo sub-project, which I think has been done by Craig in Nigeria. And it's I love this sound. This is like the Beach Boys. I mean, let's just solo it because, you know, I just love this noise. Just listen. Here we go. Oh, hang on, that's everything. No, I just want this bit. That is so awesome. Let's just one more time for the Beach Boys fans. Here we go. Oh yeah. That is so lovely. All right, let's now put into perspective. So, what we've now done is we've got the drums, the percussion, and the vocals all roughly in the same field. Now we're going to add in the bass, which can get a little bit problematic. Not through any fault of the bass players, but because the bass says, I like frequencies and I will use as many of them as I can. So here we go. So now we've got all the percussion. Let's just sort of bring that together so you can see. So that's percussion bucket for the toms, other toms, percussion bucket for Mac G. Then we've got Craig's vocals. Then we've got Pat and my vocals. And then we've got my main vocals and my main vocal reverb. Okay, and now we've got the drums in. And the next trick is the bass, which I locked so that I would not destroy it like I did last night. Okay, so let's just solo the bass in.
So she kept on running and she kept on running. Roll me over like a two-week millionaire.
Okay, the bass is loud as AF. Okay, where is it? Bass. It's set at 0. Let's bring it down underneath the drums. I like a bit of bass in my stuff, but the thing is at the moment I'm listening to it on headphones, which means that I'm not truly hearing the amount of bass that might be in the song, because headphones will not always represent the bass that you will hear through speakers, especially these days when you've got separated bass bins. So let's have a look at... Okay, here we go.
What do you do when your friends gone mad? Friends gone bad, friends gone bad. And it's the best time that she's ever.
Now, on the plus side, the bass is not taking away from the main vocals, but what it is doing, as you can hear, is that it is swallowing the lower vocals, which means I've either got to bring the bass down or I've got to bring the backing vocals up. And this is the art of mixing. Every time I add something, I affect something else, because it's all a bunch of sonic frequencies all going out through the one set of speakers. So now, my guess is I'll try bringing the bass down a bit more. Let's go to my favourite magic number. Here we go.
What do you do when your friends gone mad? Friends gone bad, friends gone bad.
Okay, I think that's fine, but I think what it needs is a little bit of reverb. Just a little teeny little bit of reverb. Let's just give that a little bit of reverb. Okay, and ophthalmo blue and Ptolemaic grey for all you Bob Ross fans out there. All right, what are we doing? We're using spaces. Let's put us in the back of a large hall. Let's see what we get. Nice.
What do you do when your friends gone mad? Friends gone bad, friends gone bad. And it's the best time that she's ever had.
Okay. So now I've achieved the first things I wanted to do. At this stage of the construction, I now have the main vocals up front. The drums are very present, but not ridiculously annoying. The bass isn't swallowing any frequencies. I can hear the backing vocals. And the next stage after this is to work on the guitars, which is what I was trying to get to last night before I blew everything up. So, interestingly enough, when I put it together this way, Mr. Wizard suggested, that's Paul for the uninitiated, Paul suggested that maybe we actually open without the guitars, because he was kind of enjoying the rhythm parts. So let's have a look. So What are we going to do here? Do we want to let that run? No, I think everything's balanced enough. I think it's time to start working on the guitars. So let's introduce the guitar theme.
What do you do when your friends go mad? Friends go mad, friends go mad. And it's the best time that she's ever had.
Okay, so it occurs to me that after I've got the sounds, and this is sort of assembling the whole palette, we'll probably thin out some of the elements and cut out bits. There'll probably be bits of percussion that go missing, etc. Just to sort of, you don't need to have everything in at once all the time. Well, sometimes you do, I guess. All right, here we go. So we've got the guitar theme in. Let's put the mandolin in. And now the problem that we had was we had a guitar theme, 2 guitar rhythm parts. One's on acoustic and the other one is electric. And the electric one has a drone noise in it, which was driving me nuts. So the acoustic one is a little bit gentler, but let's find out. All right, well, I guess this is all in. Let's see what happens now. So I can turn off the solo buttons because we're going to hear everything. They're both too loud. So let's have a look at what we've got here. That's the acoustic rhythm. So we're going to bring that down. Let's have a look at the reverb on that too, the acoustic rhythm. Neo verb. Okay, it does have thing, but it doesn't have anything on it. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of reverb to that. Okay, let's try that. Just a little touch of reverb on the acoustic guitar. And I think we might even pan the acoustic guitar slightly to the right. And then we've got this second guitar, which has been a bit of a trouble child. Okay, so let's try. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's necessarily too loud. It's already been ducked down. It's centered though, so maybe we need to pan that across to the left a little. And let's check what verb is on it. Nothing, I've turned the verb off. Let's turn the verb on. No, there was no specific verb put in there. Let's put it in the same space as everything else. Back of a large hall, slight touch of reverb. I kind of tried to arrange this so that it sounded like Ladysmith Black Mambazo in one place. So what you can't see in the backing vocal part, which is marked as the Woo sub-project, is that I used a very clever piece of software to map out a virtual space. But that'll be for a different day's discussion. All right, let's see. Now, what I've done is we've now checked the levels and the rough EQ on everything. We think everything sounds roughly as it ought to. We think it's roughly where it needs to be level-wise. After this, it's probably going to get down to really fine tweaking. So I'll probably wrap up the session after we get through this and we'll see how we go. Okay, acoustic guitar is too hot. So let's bring them both down. So where's the acoustic guitar there? Okay, let's not bring down the main rhythm. Let's just bring the acoustic down. All right, let's see that again.
What do you do when your friends go mad? Friends go mad, friends go mad. And it's the best time that she's ever had. Said she don't.
Okay, I am McLoving it, but I still want those I want that guitar down just a little bit more. I want to be able to hear the underlying stuff.
What do you do when your friends go mad? And it's the best time that she's ever had. Said she'd only dream she'd been away. Had to get up before it got too late.
That sounded alright.
So she kept on running and she kept on running. Rolled me over like a 2-week millionaire. What do you do when the world's gone mad?
That's sounding pretty alright. I think the woo's a bit low. I've just bumped the mando. The mando's... I think I want more out of the mandolin. I think I'm really liking the mandolin now. I had some issues with it before, but then again, I have issues with lots of things. All right, Mr. Mandolin, what have we got you? We've got you in a space. We've got you with an EQ. Let's go to your envelope and let's lift your gain. All right, let's see what that does.
What do you do when your friends go mad?
I want a little bit more.
What do you do when your friends go mad?
Okay, now it's up too much, which is what happens when you get clever. And now I've got to take it back down. All right. Let's put that back to 0. And I think what I don't like about it is I've used this clever piece of software which is called Ambisonics. The actual software is VR Music from Plugin Alliance, and you guys get a plug from me. Yes, you do. But I think I actually want to put it onto the Verb instead of the Ambisonic is designed to allow you to map out a virtual 3D sonic environment. Verb just as an echo, and sometimes the reverbs are mimicking places. And I'm going to try to put everything with the same, roughly the same reverb, so that it sounds like it's in the same room. All right, here we go. Let's try this.
What do you do when your friends go mad? And it's the best time that...
Okay, so it looks like the second hit there is too hot. So you can see the waveforms there, and you can see that depending on who's playing, or in this case Paul's playing it, but by visually you can see when the waveform is too hot or too high. So, God, crikey, am I going to have to do that for all of these things? Oh, bloomin' heck. Yeah, I am. Oh my God. No, that looks like it's about right. That looks like it's a bit hotter at the end. You can see because it's a sort of a bigger bottle brush. But as you get towards the end of the song, sometimes it's all right. At the beginning of the song is like the face of it. You need to be really precise on the opening of your song. You can get a bit raucous as you go. All right, let's try this. From the correct spot though, please. It's too much, it's dominating. So I'm going to need to bring that down at the master channel. So let's bring that down by... See, I don't want it to overpower, I just want it to be present.
What do you do when your friends go mad? And it's the best time that she's ever had.
Something isn't strong enough there, so let's turn the old rhythm guitar up a bit. Let's try that.
What do you do when your friends go mad? And it's the
And I think this rhythm guitar's got to be centered. I've panned that left. Let's put it in the center. Let's put them both in the center, in fact. Just increase the reverb on. All right, there we go. Let's see this. Oh, that's guitar 2. I actually want the reverb on the new rhythm guitar. There's the verb. It's at 38%. Let's lift that up.
What do you do when your friends go mad? And it's the best time that she's ever had. Said she'd only drink, she'd been away. Had to get up before it got too late. So she kept on running and she kept on running. Rolled me over like a two-week millionaire. What do you do when the world's gone mad?
Okay, now I've got to turn the backing vocals up. Okay, where are my backing vocals? There's my backing vocal master channel. That's minus 5 dB. Let's bring that up to minus 3 dB. Okay, let's see what we get. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this quits. After I'm going to run through this once, because after that I'd leave it for a little bit of time, then come back. There's a little clicking somewhere in the one of the percussive components, which is driving me nuts. So I'll go and fix that. But because you've been such a wonderful audience, even if I haven't been reading your chat thing because I can't see it from where I am, thank you for joining us for this first streaming session of Adventures in Stereo Recording with Stormcellar, where you find out how exciting this is and why we prefer going to studios with people like Ben at Everland or AJ or anyone else who's really competent and good at their job, as opposed to me who's just really enthusiastic. All right, here we go.
What do you do when your friends go mad? And it's the best time that she's ever had. Said she'd only drink, she'd been away.
right, thank you for joining us. We look forward to the next session of whatever this is, mixing and adventures with Storm Cellar in stereo recording. See you again next time.